The tension between my daughters and my ex-husband's family has been a long-standing battle. At 46, I've been through enough to know that not all family ties are worth keeping. My daughters, 17 and 15, have seen firsthand the devastation caused by their father's betrayal, and after his tragic passing last year, things only escalated. My ex had been living a double life. His affair resulted in 2 boys, and when he and his mistress died in an accident, chaos ensued. My ex-in-laws, devastated by the loss, tried to force a connection between my daughters and these children, even going as far as to fight for custody of my girls. But my daughters were not having it. They were the ones who discovered their father's secret and exposed it, so their resentment ran deep. A court battle is ongoing over custody, but as for the idea of the boys living with us, that was never going to happen. Last weekend, I decided to take my girls to the local farmers market to relax. It was my youngest's birthday, and while her party was planned for later in the month, I wanted her to enjoy a special day. I gave her a budget and let her roam freely, filling her basket with sweets, chocolates, and anything else she desired. An hour passed, and just as I started to feel uneasy, my phone rang. My youngest was on the other end, her voice trembling. "Mom, some weird women are harassing me." My heart dropped. I grabbed my eldest, and we sprinted across the market. When we arrived, I saw 6 older women, ladies I vaguely recognized from my ex-in-law's church, cornering my daughter. They were berating her, their voices dripping with judgment. "How dare you refuse to be a good big sister? Your father would be so ashamed," one spat. "Abandoning your grandparents like this is unchristian," another sneered. My daughter stood frozen, tears welling up in her eyes. My blood boiled. I stepped between them and my child, my voice steady but laced with fury. "Leave. Now." One of them scoffed. "This is what happens when a woman refuses to obey her husband. You were never a good wife." My eldest daughter quickly paid for the groceries and rushed to the car, but these women weren't done. They followed us, still spewing venom. I ignored them, focused solely on getting my girls to safety. That night, once my daughters were asleep, I reached out to an old acquaintance from their church. He apologized profusely for the women's behavior and then told me something that made my jaw drop. My ex-mother-in-law had posted a dramatic sob story in the church's private Facebook group. According to her, my daughters and I had heartlessly abandoned her and her husband, leaving them destitute and grief-stricken. But the most shocking part? She claimed that my ex's mistress had been our surrogate, and the twin boys were biologically ours. She painted me as a cruel, unloving woman who rejected her own children simply because they were boys. I was furious. This wasn't just a twisted lie, it was character assassination. Luckily, I had receipts. Because my divorce was still pending when my ex died, I had kept every single piece of evidence. Photos of him and his mistress, screenshots of their messages, even emails from his parents where they acknowledged the affair. But the real kicker? The messages where they called my daughters bastards and blamed them for their father's death. The next day, I took a trip to the print shop. I paid extra for high-quality copies of everything. Then I carefully arranged them into small binders, designed to look just like the hymn booklets the church handed out every Sunday. The first page? A full-color photo of my ex passionately kissing his mistress in our living room. Underneath, I labeled it, "A Love Story of Betrayal." On Sunday morning, I walked into the church, keeping my head down. I made my way to the back, where they kept the extra hymn books, and discreetly placed my binders among them. Then I left. The aftermath was nothing short of spectacular. By that evening, the church's Facebook group was in flames. The gossip spread like wildfire. People were furious, not just at my ex, but at his parents for covering up his lies and dragging my daughters into their mess. The church had always been strict about infidelity, and now my ex-mother-in-law was being branded as an enabler of sin. She was shunned almost immediately. She tried to play the victim again, posting on social media about how she felt alienated and abandoned. But no one was buying it. Even the church's pastor had to step in to calm the storm, but the damage was done. Meanwhile, I received 2 handwritten apology letters from church members. Some even invited me back, insisting that I had only momentarily strayed from the light due to my husband's betrayal. As for my ex-in-laws, they left the church in disgrace. Their entire social circle turned against them. My ex-mother-in-law lamented online about how no one respects the elderly anymore, and how she wished her perfect son was still alive to take care of them. Ironically, my ex had never been the provider I was. This wasn't the first time I had to stand up to people who thought they could control my life. Years ago, when I first married my ex, his mother tried to impose strict religious rules on me, dictating what I could wear, how I should behave, even what career I should pursue. I rebelled quietly, keeping my independence despite their disapproval. But this time, it wasn't just about me. It was about my daughters, their safety, their dignity. I have no regrets. My daughters deserve justice. And if my ex-in-laws thought they could manipulate and bully us into submission, they learned a very public, very humiliating lesson. Justice wasn't just served. It was served in high-quality print, bound like a prayer book, and distributed to an entire congregation.